Alright guys, so just exploring here and showing up some new updates on my AI, and on this one I'm going to explain how do I set up the resources collections. So the first thing we need here is to find the road, right? So we're going to browse to the asset, and I need to find, in this case, the stone path, right? So I'm going to drag and drop the stone path. So then the next thing we need to figure out which one is the end way. So that way, that's the end, you see? So I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna click on, well, I can't click on you. Sometimes the Reminder has these issues, but it's okay. I'm gonna drag it more or less here, okay? Now I'm gonna add a spline line and a spline line. The reason why I'm adding those lines is that because then my character can walk in sequence, and I recommend adding every 5 of 10 cubes you add one because of the nav mesh. Now the next thing we need to do is that I need to edit my NPC. In this case, I need to go back here to my character manager. Not this one. I'm just gonna edit actually the components, and I need to find here. I need to add a new role. So I have lumberjack, so I just need to find my st master character info. Now if I go back to you, I need to add the role, right? And in here I have stone miner, because in the future we're gonna have iron miner, okay? Oh, miner, perfect. Now I'm going to compile and save. Now on the character, don't need to do anything on here. We can close everything there. The last thing you need to do is that in-game, go back to character manager and select stone miner. Perfect. Alright. Now the next thing we need to do here is to browse to, so we have the stockpile, we need to add our stone pile. This is where it's going to deposit the stones. This is very important, otherwise the AI is not going to do anything. Now we're going to browse to the AI again. Going to go back to here. We're going to go back, to modules, AI. And here we're going to go back to behavior trees. We got resource collection. So I'm just going to create here one for wood. And I'm going to drag and drop all those here. Okay. And then I'm going to create another one called stone. They're exactly the same thing. The only reason why instead of creating them, I like to make them manually is because it's easy to control after if anything special for that work. So it's gonna first follow the stone road and then collect resources, collect stone resources, and this one follow the resources. Is this the one? Let me just double check here. This is the one that it collects the wood, which is perfect. And this one is the one that it follows the resource path. Yeah, so follow storage path. Okay. And then we can maybe add stone, but it doesn't matter. Now the first thing we need to do, open up the follow stone road. And there is one thing we need to do here, which is basically the reverse is false. So what we're going to need to do is that follow this one. We don't have this yet, so we're just going to go back here to our behavior. We're going to go back to our road path. Okay. And we're going to add another one called follow stone road. Perfect. I'm going to save this, go back. Perfect. Now here, looking for the stone road, and the one we need is the stone road. All right, now we don't have a line of sight. This is fine, and this is okay. Looking for the deposit road, we don't care about this. Now everything here is fine. Look for the road to follow. Now in this example, following the road path, so following the stone path, and this one, AI is not following resources path, resource storage path. Okay. Now this is fine. We don't care about that. That's so good. Now the next one we have to change here a little bit is this behavior. We need to change to the stone one. Okay, make sure you change this to the stone, and this one make you change to the storage path as well, because it's going to be a little bit different, maybe. All right, so now that we have this added, we need now to go back to this. I'm going to browse to asset, and I'm just going to close that quickly. I'm going to copy the storage path. The storage path is a funny one, but basically you need to find the one that is the end. So you get the end here, and we're gonna add it there, right? I mean, in this case it doesn't matter, but I always find the one that is going against. So that is the beginning. So for example here, right? So that is gonna be, no, it's the other way around, sorry. Then we're gonna add the stone path here, or whatever. So we just add a spline line and a spline line here, and that's it. Okay. Now the next thing we need to do is that we're gonna browse to asset, and we're gonna go back to core again. Core. We're gonna go back here to modules, AI, open up the NPC. We're gonna just save everything, make sure everything's good. Now the next thing we need to do is copy this, paste it. We're gonna add a stone miner, and they kind of have the same logic more or less, but start the stone miner behavior. Now instead of pulling the wood one, we're gonna get the stone, right? And the next one is that start follow the stone road, looking for resources, and you're gonna compile and save. Perfect. Now the next thing we need to do here is that open up here and press play, and that should be enough to make sure that the character it's running properly. As you can see, for example, I'm just gonna delete this guy here just so we have like one AI running at a time, because it's probably causing some issues here. So let's just double check here. So for example, now he has the stone miner, right? Let's press play and see. This is a problem because I forgot this. Go back to your first 01, and you see this is like checking which one is the wood path that we're trying to follow. I can just browse to asset. So I have the storage path, not the storage path, sorry, the wood path. Browse to asset, stone path, and on the stone, this one, just edit, and we're gonna compile and save. It's because we had a new road, and if I press play, look at it go. So now what's gonna do? It's gonna go. There's one more step though that we have to set up, and we can actually do it right now that I kind of forgot. So here we does everything. So it runs the behavior, which is fine, and then it goes back here, and here you go. First thing, looking for resources, and the resources we're looking is stone. It's another thing I forgot to add. Now what's gonna do is that it's gonna look for the area, find the nearest area, and it's gonna arrive near that. So the area here in this example, I don't have an add area yet. We need to click on this area, browse to the asset, okay, and here we have a stone resource area. And if you check spawn the base stone, which is what we want, depending on the kind of item, you may have to create that from scratch, but on our case we already have. I just have to create one for the iron and one for like stone, and then maybe in the future we can add more. But as you can see, now you start to heat the thing, which is good, and he goes and he collects the item, and he goes and he collects the item as well. And then we can kind of go back to him and control, and we can kind of say, okay, this is quite cool, I already have the inventory, and we can delete this. Now for example, now if you want to test if the character can actually deliver the item, that's a different story, but super simple as well. I'm gonna go back to the character, we're gonna edit the manager here, and here we're just gonna add one simple index. And the reason why I'm adding this is because so the AI can just kind of go and pick up one item. So what's going to do is going to go there, and he's going to pick up, let's see what's going to do. Come on, come on, come on. So you got the stone, perfect. I mean, that wasn't the idea of it. So we're probably going to have to add some kind of a blocker around the stone. Let's try again. Let's see what is going to happen. Come on, AI. Move, move, move. So it's going to go there, and it's going to spawn the stone, right? And boom. So it broke the stone, and it's going to break the stone. And I was going to try to collect the item, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Right? Collect the item, and then he goes back to the resource road, which I added the zip line there, if you remember, the road, and he deposits the item. And then he goes back to do his thing. So now here's the problem. When you deposit the item back, we need to change a couple of logics in here, okay? Which is basically, we have to change this item here, the deposit item, go back to work, right? So what I would like to do here is I want to pass a parameter, because I want to make sure that the only one we need to do is just this one. Everything else is fine. So we're just going to pass a parameter, promote a variable called new road to follow, and it's going to be a parameter, and we are just going to basically get a value from here and assign it there, right? By default we can make it expose and spawn, whatever. If you compile and save, we can add the wood one, so we don't have to change the wood. But now if I go back to that, I can just put stone, you see? And because this is the stone one, it should just go back to do the behavior it was doing before. Let's just double check what's the AI doing now. So the AI, it's running towards his little goal there. So let's have a look. So it's going to spawn the item. There, nice. Alright, so he added, and let's go back. So he's going back to the resource road, and come on, come on, go back, go back. Yes, okay, deposit the item. Now please go back to pick up the resource road. So now it's finding the path again. It's because we don't have a lot of waypoints. That's why it's kind of doing that. So the idea is the more waypoints you have, the better. And now it's probably gonna go in a loop and do that stuff again. And that's it, guys. That's how I set up AI on my game. And you know, it's a little bit, you know, there's a lot of stuff we can improve, that's for sure. But I think this is a very generic way of doing this. And then the reason why I'm doing this in a way that is not generic is because I find out that when you work with behavior trees, it's best to have specific behaviors that you know what's doing, rather than have like a generic thing. Otherwise it causes a lot of issues with the engine. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and I see you in the next one.